Yeah, and with the road toll thing, they're saying that there's going to be massive public resistance, which might stop them from getting it through. But as I point out in the article, British people already pay road tax. They also pay council tax, which goes towards road maintenance. So they're already taxed twice for the roads, and now they're going to make us pay tolls as well. And the Rothschilds are the ones pushing it. So, I mean, yeah, they're going for broke, but on the same token, they're saying that, you know, we're going to go for this, but we're not sure whether we'll be able to ram it all through because public resistance is growing, and there's going to be a backlash. So it just remains to
But if you don't like toll roads, you're racist.
Yeah, that'll be the next thing, I guess.
No, they're already attacking Rand Paul, Republican websites, going, he's a delusional fruit. He believes there's something called SPP. He believes there was a North American highway. Public U.S. government maps, statements, meetings, 83 of the major highways turned into international toll roads to fund the NAU. They separately picked Atlanta or Miami as the capital. It's all public, and they just get up on the news, Paul, and say it doesn't exist, and we're completely insane.
Yeah, and now it's come out that the Rachel Maddow interview with Rand Paul, Nimmo was just in an article on this on InfoWars. They put out a fake transcript after the interview to smear Paul as a racist.
Oh, God, there's no end.
Quotes that he never even said on the show.
And he's, see, I mean, it's overload point here, Watson. And that's what they're doing psychologically is they're trying to break our will where, okay, we make fake Bin Laden videos, we grow the drugs, we're poisoning your water, we're putting cancer shots in your vaccines. Yeah, the Gardasil's killing kids. We're going to make you take it. By the way, going back to the first big story, General Electric is the biggest overall group, but they subcontract. And normally it's with Bechtel. And it says it's the #1 construction company in the U.S. Vinci is the #1 in France. Hortschiff in Germany. CCC Ltd. ACS in Spain. So it goes on. I need to know who the biggest in the world is. You watch, it's going to be, because I've seen that over and over again, that they build almost all the big dams. And, well, who knows? I shouldn't sit here and obsess over factoids anymore. But Watson, the reason I figured out I'm even more upset now than I've ever been, and I'm talking to everybody else who's in tune and intelligent and informed, you can feel the quickening, as Ron Paul said. It's all starting to come to a head. And you talk about this BBC reporter, top construction firm, WTC destroyed by controlled demolition. You know, you talk about that. That's why he's saying he went public, according to the quotes you have in the article, is that he sees the whole world going down in flames. Why not just tell it all? And it's that spirit that may save us. If we just stop caring what our neighbor thinks. Our neighbor only follows who they think is the winner or where they think the wind's blowing. We've got to stand up as leaders. And it doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you're the best spoken person, talking about myself. It doesn't mean you know, I love that Full Metal Jacket quote. You know, Private Joker is silly and ignorant, but he's got guts, and guts is enough. Folks, you just got to know things are wrong, and you got to stand up and say, folks, wake up, look around you. Things are not in good shape right now. I mean, when they come out and start sending people $1,500 fines without a judge or jury on an unpaid $1.25 ticket, and I know the law, that's illegal. I mean, state of Texas last year ruled that the red light cameras are illegal, just like California did. And the company says, I don't care, we're doing it. I mean, they're just a pack of scum, Watson.
Well, it's a predatory system, and I mean, they won't just let us live our lives. You know, before people thought, well, if I just keep my nose out of their business and I'm not political, I'll be able to live my life. But they're not going to allow you to do that because it's a predatory system that depends on feeding upon the public for its own sustenance.
I tell you, Paul, there is now 100% confirmed they are going for broke. And we say that all the time, but every moment it dawns on me more just how dire our straits are. And people should be a lot more awake. Okay, sure, every incumbent's being thrown out. That isn't enough. We need bankers indicted. We need the Federal Reserve gone. We need... And see, the globalists know, as Ron Paul said, we're gaining ground. They can look into the future and tell we're going to win. That's why they're trying to head us off at the pass.
Exactly, and they're planning false flags with which to do that, which is also what Hart talks about. He says that Israel is basically planning another false flag based around the stolen nukes from Minot Air Force Base, and it's going to be used as a pretext going to Iran. So, and he was on the inside. That's not an opinion to be taken lightly. This is somebody who was deeply on the inside in the Middle East.
Well, I mean, the fact that they're so bold to blow up those towers in front of everybody, and then even say they were going to blow up 7, and then blow it up and say we never said that, when there's scores of radio and TV newscast as they did it, and they had the BBC false script, they blew it up, and then We Are Change went and interviewed that reporter, the BBC World News anchor, and he said, oh, I was taking my son to see a movie that day. I wasn't working on 9/11. And they said, yes, sir, here's the transcript. You were on TV. And he goes, oh, I guess you're right. I was there. You can tell that guy's an operative. And he suddenly says, I guess you're informed. I'll have to speak to you as a human. It was the same thing with Gary Hart. Remember Gary Hart when they go, we have, you said that our government will stage terror attacks to invade Iran. You threatened Ahmadinejad in a public letter. And Hart said, I did no such thing. And they said, here is the letter. And they read it, and he goes, oh, yes, I did. And suddenly he changed, started sweating, and he went, he knew he had actual humans on his hands. And he was like, whoa, because they're so used to talking to zombies. Stay there, key info, then your calls. All right, going back to Watson, we got about a minute and a half, finishing up with this huge story, top construction firm, WTC, destroyed by controlled demolition. Final comments on that, Watson.
Yeah, you were talking about the BBC Building 7 video. The version of that I uploaded to YouTube nearly 3 years ago has over 1 million views, about 1.1 million views. And for about a year they took it down, but now it's back up again. But they're definitely watching it closely because I got an email from YouTube today saying basically that it violated copyright. They didn't say they were going to take it down, but...
Yeah, what you do is you file a fair use filing on them. Yeah. I mean, we have a right to show them saying Building 7 had fallen exactly as it fell 25 minutes before it fell on 2 different BBC channels. We have a right to show CNN with police saying, get back, they're blowing up the building. They murdered those people. We have a right. Stay there, Watson. Back in 1 minute. But Rand Paul needs to go ahead and sue Maddow over this transcript because that is the definition of slander, and a public figure can win slander, libel, defamation, whatever the case is. This is slander and libel because they printed it in overall defamation. Malice of forethought with the attempt to do harm. I mean, look, you must sue. This is a message of Rand Paul. It's confirmed. You must sue MSNBC for the retraction. The only thing they'll pay attention to is a big, mean, fat suit against that corporate prostitute system, against those bomb-making, baby-killing, General Electric-owned NBC. And, boy, I can prove all of what I just said. And you need to drag them into court and make it a big deal that you're suing them about their big, fat lies. Corporate media uses fraudulent MSNBC transcript to portray Rand Paul as a racist. In order to smear and discredit Rand Paul and prevent him from going to the Senate, MSNBC has modified a transcript that was appearance on the Rachel Maddow show, which was then used nationwide. Paul appeared on the show after he won the primary in Kentucky. The modified transcript reads as follows. Maddow, do you think that a private business has a right to say, we don't serve black people? Yes, I'm not in favor of any discrimination of any form. As before, its news notes, Paul's yes was some sort of insignificant vocalization to maintain the flow of conversation. This was already made difficult by the satellite delay. Here is a YouTube video of the exchange queued up to the exact moment following the entire video. So they knowingly then went out and said that he was for not serving black people when they know that he went, yes, excuse me, say that, I can't hear you, and then went on to say, no, I'm against discrimination. Paul Watson, comments on this?
Yeah, well, I did a segment with Burmas on this last week, and this was a contrived smear attack, because as soon as Rand Paul won, the media in unison tried to attack him as a racist elitist because he used a country club at which to stage his victory celebration. So they were already, you know, waiting with bated breath.
But country clubs are everywhere now. I mean, they got country clubs you can join, you know, for $20 a visit. I mean, like it's, ooh, a country club. Ooh, I mean, what do you think there is in Kentucky? I mean, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, and that didn't work. So they immediately went after him on this nuanced philosophical position on civil rights, which of course they used to call him a racist and imply that he was a Klan member.
Yeah, well, Matt Al and them are claiming he said that he supports shutting down black people's rights to eat at lunch counters when they know he didn't. God bless you, Paul.